What's going wrong with United's attack? Big changes coming this summer. Hey United fans! Welcome back to United News. If you've been watching our games lately, you're probably as frustrated as I am with our attacking problems. Today, let's dig into what's happening at Old Trafford and what changes we might see this summer. There's a lot to unpack, from our struggling strikers to exciting transfer targets, and even a promising youth player who might be our next star. Ruben Amorim tipped to quit as Man United boss as TV anchor claims he's out of his depth. Ruben Amorim is already feeling the strain at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim is out of his depth as Manchester United manager and needs to learn fast if he wants to stay in the job. But one controversial TV presenter has suggested that the Portuguese will already be thinking about walking away from Old Trafford. The Red Devils turned to the Portuguese coach after Erik ten Hag failed to get a tune out of his expensively assembled squad, and just a matter of months after being given both a contract extension and a £180 million summer transfer war chest, which was spent on 5 new additions. But when ten Hag fell on his sword, hopes that Manchester United would enjoy a new manager bounce under Amorim have very quickly evaporated, with the same old issues consistently rearing their head. Since his appointment as manager and having changed to a 3-4-2-1 formation, United have won 8 of his 19 matches in charge. But having also lost 8 times too, they remain in the same 13th place in the Premier League in which he inherited them in. In grim reading for Amorim, Sunday's 2-0 loss to Crystal Palace was the 5th time he has tasted defeat since becoming United boss, making him the fastest in their history to reach the milestone. As a result, questions are now being asked if the United is too big for the former Sporting CP coach, who turned 40 last week. Now one of his biggest critics, former Sky Sports host Richard Keys, believes the clock is already ticking on his time in charge. Keys wrote in his blog, "There's not much to say about United this week. Poor again, wasn't it? But it always is when they have to take a game to the opposition. If they're sitting in a low block and stopping the opposition from playing, they're okay. If they have to take a game to teams, they struggle, which is why they've now lost 7 home games. As for playing Kobbie Mainoo as a false 9, and you've got Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee available, what are you actually saying to those players with a decision like that?" I'm afraid Amorim looks totally out of his depth. I wanted it to work, but it didn't. He's going to have to change and learn fast if he wants to stay in the job. I'm still not convinced he doesn't want out already. Ruben Amorim sent relegation warning as nothing positive to say about Man United. Ruben Amorim has been warned his Manchester United side could face a relegation battle, as a worried Red Devils legend confessed. Everything's just at such a low level. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim has overseen a string of defeats. Manchester United have been told they could be in a desperate relegation battle come the end of the season. That's the view of former United favorite Paul Parker, who fears Ruben Amorim's side might be scrapping to maintain their top-flight status. United are having a wretched season, which has seen them lose 11 league games and slump to 13th place in the table. Speaking to Crypto Casinos UK, Parker said, "I could say that quite a few players need to be dropped from the Manchester United side. But who does Ruben Amorim replace them with? It's like turning round and saying your Ferrari's not been performing well and you want to use your other car, but that other car is a Ford Focus. You're always going to stick with the Ferrari and hope at some point that it's going to give you a good run. That's what Amorim is doing at the moment." Manchester United's players after their dismal 2-0 defeat to Crystal Palace. He's just hoping that the players will do something, but knowing that it might not even happen for another half-dozen games. "I just can't think of anything positive to say about United at this moment in time. Everything's just at such a low level. Unless things pick up quickly with the people who are there, it could get worse and worse. I still can't rule out saying that Manchester United could be in a relegation battle this season. That's how bad things have been." United lost their last league outing 2-0 at home against Crystal Palace. They next face Leicester City at Old Trafford in the FA Cup on Friday night, before travelling to North London for a Premier League clash against fellow crisis club Tottenham next weekend. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe willing to sanction £54 million move for Harry Kane. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe would reportedly be open to signing Harry Kane from Bayern Munich after it emerged he has a release clause in his Bayern Munich contract, which has dropped significantly in recent days. United held a long-standing interest in Kane before he sealed a £100 million transfer to Bayern in 2023. He was Erik ten Hag's top transfer target, but Tottenham Hotspur chairman Daniel Levy refused to sell his talisman to a direct Premier League rival. United have since bolstered their striking department with the additions of Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, two players who are struggling to have an impact at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, Kane has been a sensation at Bayern. While he has yet to lift a trophy with the Bundesliga giants, his performances have been nothing short of incredible, scoring 70 goals in 72 games. A recent report covered by the People's Person relayed that Kane has a release clause in his Bayern contract. The England captain was available for £67 million in the January transfer window, but that clause will now be reduced to £54 million next winter. While there are no indications that he wants to leave Bayern, this development has alerted a number of clubs to his potential availability. Now, journalist Graham Bailey has revealed what Ratcliffe thinks about United making another attempt at finally securing Kane's services. According to Bailey via TBR Football, Ratcliffe would be on board with sanctioning a pursuit of Kane. It's understood that the Ineos chairman would love for United to sign Kane. TBR Football can exclusively reveal that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos earmarked Harry Kane as their dream signing once they took over Manchester United in 2023. The English billionaire is a huge admirer of the Bayern number 9, who has amassed a staggering 55 goals in 50 Bundesliga games. Ineos' stance remains firm about not having any say on sporting decisions, and they will not steer United's footballing department in the direction of signing Kane. However, even they are big fans of the Tottenham legend. Bailey notes that Spurs have the first option on re-signing their former striker. Even better from United's perspective is that Kane would still like to return to the Premier League in the future. He has ruled out moves to Spurs' London rivals like Arsenal and Chelsea. Kane wants to break Alan Shearer's record as the league's top goalscorer. He is currently just 47 goals shy of Shearer's 260 strikes. Man United to assess Premier League midfield sensation after injury recovery, but two major problems arise. Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton. Manchester United are still interested in Adam Wharton. Team Talk understands, with sources telling us Crystal Palace's stance on selling the midfielder and also naming two other major Premier League clubs who are keen. Team Talk revealed back in October Man Utd's long-term interest in Wharton. We reported at the time that the Premier League giants were planning to offload Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen and make room in their squad for the Palace ace, with the Old Trafford decision-makers hugely impressed with the 21-year-old. Wharton joined Palace from Blackburn Rovers in February 2024 for an initial transfer fee of £18 million and immediately established himself in the Eagles' starting lineup. The England international was expected to raise his game even more this season, but a groin problem saw him undergo surgery which has affected his progress and development. Wharton is back to full fitness now and is expected to play a big role for Palace in the second half of the season. Team Talk understands that Man United are planning to keep tabs on Wharton in the coming weeks and months and assess how the English youngster does. However, sources have told us that it is not just Man United who are going to scout Wharton. Defending Premier League champions Manchester City and top four hopefuls Newcastle United are also planning to watch Wharton in the second half of the season, with a view to a potential move in the summer of 2025. Palace expect Wharton to be in demand once the season ends, but the London club are not panicking. We understand that the Eagles are not in any rush to sell the midfielder and will demand a premium, with there being no clause in his contract. Adam Wharton is very mature. Wharton may be only 21 now, but he is a very mature player who sees the full picture of the game when he is on the pitch. The youngster has already played once for England, and one suspects that he will get many more caps for the Three Lions in the coming years. Ebereki Eze plays with Wharton for England and Palace, and he has been full of praise for the youngster in the past. Eze told BBC Sport in June 2024, "He's an incredible player to play with. Playing with him at Palace, I've got used to seeing the way he plays and understanding him. He's very calm, composed, and a joy to play with. For someone so young, he's very mature and very wise. When you speak to him, it feels like you're speaking to someone older than you. That's the type of person he is. He's an incredible player. Stay tuned as we break down all the latest rumors and what they mean for United's future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for all the freshest updates on your favorite club.